Hello, everyone. So, before anyone gets excited about this headline, Trump says he's spoken with Putin about ending Ukraine war. This is being circulated all over multiple sources. I'd like to point out that, first of all, nobody knows what they actually talked about. Second of all, interestingly, Putin's spokesman, Peskov, said that he could neither confirm nor deny that this conversation took place. So, for anyone who says, "Oh, finally, we're seeing some action," I don't know. Are we? Are we sure about that? Trump says he wants to see people dying. Really? Well, considering how much death and distress your own policies are causing, that's very unconvincing. And he says, I hope it's fast. Again, do you even know what's going on? And if you hope it's fast, you should not be talking to Russia, you should be talking to Ukraine. Because Russia is the culprit here. If you want a quick end, you should team up with Ukraine and drive Russia out of Ukrainian territory. All of this, oh, we have to negotiate, blah, freaking blah, remove the losses, reduce the distress, it's all bullshit. Russia invaded Ukraine. Period. Everybody in the world should act accordingly. For references on how to act accordingly, look up World War II. While refusing to confirm or deny Putin's and Trump's conversation, Peskov said that there has been an increase in contact between Washington and Moscow. Again, whatever the fuck does that mean? This article in Politico is also providing kind of a brief outline of the war to remind everybody what is actually happening, particularly on the Ukrainian side. And what they're pointing out is that, historically, Russia had always relied on a bigger population. Again, I encourage you to educate yourself in particularly the history of Russian imperialism and Russia's expansion. Okay? And look at the history of every significant war, every significant battle or campaign they've ever had. How did they win? By throwing as many bodies at the front lines as possible, and this is no exception. In fact, if you go back to World War II, the man in charge of the entire operation of Russian military, Soviet military at the time, was a man by the last name of Zhukov, General Zhukov. And at one point, it's been pointed out to him that with better planning, certain battles could be won with fewer casualties. To which he replied, that's okay, those are just Ukrainians. You see, sending non-Russian nationals forward as cannon fodder is nothing new. At the time, they were Ukrainians, Uzbeks, Yakuts, Georgians, non-Russian nationals. And according to Zhukov, they were expandable. And yes, Donald, a lot of very young and wonderful people died. Some were actual children, kindergarten age. Some were newborns, because Russia insists on targeting maternity wards and hospitals. So maybe you should be focusing on that instead of spewing platitudes. Oh, North Korea, you are still not getting the right message. And again, I don't know what people in North Korea know about what's going on in Russia, in Ukraine, and what's happening to their own soldiers, but they can't possibly know. I'm wondering if there is like a cover up of casualties there as well, much like Russia has been doing over the last 3 years, but they're definitely not getting the message. In addition to sending soldiers, there were also thousands of North Korean laborers who went to work in Russia in 2024. Why? Guys, why? Why there? Why Russia? Why would you go there? Oh my God. Do you have a death wish? Remember those Indian and African people who were seduced into going to Russia with job contracts and promises of skill training and so on? You know what happened to them? They ended up at the Ukrainian front and dead. Is that what you want? But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Kim Jong-un continues pledging, undying love and devotion to Putin and his cause, and he's calling it a just cause. So, North Korean neighbors, I hope you are paying attention, particularly South Korea and Japan. Don't you both have territorial disputes with North Korea? Yeah. And he wants, in return, an expansion of nuclear development. So again, neighbors of North Korea, pay a freaking attention. This is serious. This pertains to you. And China, you're like right next to there too. I know you like to support Russia, but maybe like reconsider how comfy are you gonna feel if North Korea develops nuclear weapons? Just asking. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy expressed some doubt as to whether there is any possibility of the quick end to the war. He's right to doubt. He is absolutely right to doubt, because the answer is no. No freaking way. Not gonna happen. Just no. It's just Trump's stupidity. So in the UK, they fortunately understand the complexity of the situation, and UK has been a very staunch supporter of Ukraine. I think they remember World War II very well, and particularly that bit where they were on their own for a while there before the US finally decided to wake up and show up and participate. And this is important. So Russia doesn't just want to have Ukraine handed over to them on a silver platter. No. You know what else they're complaining about? Russia's representative to the UN, Gennady Gatilov, said that Russia is not satisfied by the rate of disarmament in the US. They don't just want Ukraine, they want US to stop being any kind of competition from the military standpoint to Russia. They want US to disarm. Let that sink in. Think about this very carefully. Are you comfortable with that, America? For those of you who are still saying, oh, I have no idea how the war in Ukraine affects me personally, you think on that. Somebody wants US to disarm. That does affect you personally. And meanwhile, Zelensky's trying to have some useful meetings with specifically the chair of NATO's military committee to talk about long-range weaponry. So that is something we need to keep talking about, and that has been used very effectively against Russia's military objects. So, not a lot that NATO and EU actually have to do. Ukraine just needs something to fire, and they will take care of everything else.